I don't know about anybody else, but I had a long day today. One thing I didn't have a lot of in prison were long days. Now, there were exceptions. For a number of those years, I worked on maintenance. There might be a time we were called out all night long to bust up concrete, or all day long to rewire something or install a new system, but for the most part, the only structure we had was a structure we created for ourselves. And all that structure started at 6 a.m. because two officers would come in the pod, they would blow the whistle, they'd say, "Stand for count." We'd all have to stand up to one, prove we were still there, and two, prove we were alive. Then we would sit back down and wait for count to clear, which is where they had counted everybody in the institution, make sure everybody was accounted for. Then they would start calling chow. They would open the cell doors, they would open the pod doors, we'd go down to chow, we'd have our breakfast. Then we'd come back and we had to figure out how we were going to fill our day. Now, when I worked in the law library as a mentor in the mental health pod, or I worked in the factory, I had a pretty set schedule. When I was on maintenance, there was no telling. They might call me in 7 days a week one week, and they might call me in no days a week the next week. So instead, I created my own structure. I would write letters, I would read, I would meditate. I built my day around when I was available. So during count time, I would always sit. I would sit for 20 or 30 minutes, depending on what my meditation routine was at that point. I would make sure that was my time just for me. Then as soon as the doors opened, or as soon as count cleared, I was back in the mix of doing all the things that I was doing. And whether that was work as a mentor or on maintenance or in the law library, or whether I was tutoring somebody, or whether I was training somebody, whatever I was doing, I always made sure to have a full day. Because what I realized is the biggest punishment you can give somebody is an empty day with nothing to do. Because sitting in that cell staring at the wall all day, every day, is about the biggest misery you can imagine.